Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Michigan Grown, Michigan Great Facebook Live series that we do that we typically call Harvest Hangout. But today we're with a farmer that raises cows that ultimately go to 4-H projects and other youth projects. And so he's going to tell us a little bit about how he got started in that field and how he helps other people get started as well. So everyone meet Brian Plank.
Well, welcome to the farm here. Got started when I was about 12 years old through 4-H, showing 4-H projects, mainly beef cattle. And from there, as I progressed through 4-H, decided to get some breeding heifers and show, and started my own cow herd. Working through college with just 10 or 12 cows. In 2001, we expanded the herd to nearly 50, and today we're running about 85 to 90 mature cows here. And basically one of the biggest focuses here is raising calves for club calves for 4-H projects for other youth. Trying to just kind of give back to where I got me started in the 4-H program, and it's just a great opportunity for young kids to work with somebody with my experience and help them get started in the livestock and ag industry here in the great state of Michigan. And today's going to be here in about an hour. We're going to kick off selling about 50 calves, growing here on the farm, and with a few other producers that have purchased a lot of cattle from me over the last few years, and put together a nice set of steers for these young 4-H kids to purchase today and take home. And when they purchase from us, it's a complete program. I'm a phone call away for any veterinary services that they need that I can help them with, along with any nutritional needs, and preparing and getting these cattle ready for their 4-H fair next summer. Like I said, this will be our 24th annual sale. Basically, I got started having the sale when I got done with 4-H. We were still raising the calves and didn't have any use for us using them anymore, so we started our own sale and started to try to help the other youth in Michigan.
That's awesome. When it comes to raising cows, raising cattle, right, what do you think is the number one thing when it comes to animal care?
Oh, the biggest thing with animal care, it's every day. It's 365 days a year, rain or shine, snow, and we deal with every bit of it in Michigan. We feed these cattle every day. And we spend most of the summer, the cows are on grass. They feed themselves most of the summer on grass, laying under the shade trees, but that's when we're putting up all the feed that we use all winter for them. So it's every day here on the farm, and making these cows and trying to keep them as happy and healthy as possible.
What kinds of things do the cows eat?
Basically, we grass in the summertime, and we put up, bale a lot of hay, and we do feed some corn silage to these our brood cows. So it's multiple different feed sources, and it kind of depends on the age and the production time of production that the cows are in, what we really get fed. So it's a variation deal, but we have to get it all up and stored, so it's very high quality feed for these cows through the winter months.
The cows seem really calm in the barn. Is that always the case?
Yeah, that's one of the big focuses on these club calves is disposition. Because they are going to go to kids from the age of 9 to 19 years of age. We've spent the last 30 days since we took these calves off their moms, weaned them, got them used to eating feed on their own and adapting to the environment. We've spent the last 4 weeks bathing and halter breaking them, teaching them to lead, and just really calming these calves down so when the 4-Hers get them, they can just keep right on working with them and really ultimately make them their own pet.
Yeah. So what kinds of things do you hope the 4-Hers learn then, in addition to taking care of an animal?
Well, I guess the biggest thing I hope they all learn is responsibility. It's huge. It's something that we missed in today's society is these young people with responsibility. And it's one thing having a calf project that starts on October 1st and they won't sell these cattle until the middle of July, most county fairs. it's 7 days a week. It's responsibility of feeding, putting fresh water in front of them, and keeping these cattle healthy and growing, because ultimately if they don't grow and stay healthy, there's no money to be made in the end, no matter who owns them. So that's one of the biggest things we hope. Basically, try to get these kids to understand how their food's being produced, and just the type of quality of feed they need to feed to make the animal grow and gain weight. So there's lots of segments in the cattle business that really pertain to all of agriculture.
So you mentioned the food system, and so these cows here that you're selling in October are going to be sold like July or so?
Yep, July, August.
How much do they weigh today, and what's the ultimate goal of how much they should weigh when they go to market?
So all the calves today would have been born from about February to the end of April, weighing approximately 500 to 600 pounds today. And the ultimate goal is next July, August at the county fairs, these kids will have them weighing between 12 and 1,400 pounds. And being finished, that will grade a choice carcass with lots of marbling, and we all know a great eating experience at the end when they hit the consumers.
Great. Do you have anything that you want to add?
It's really a neat opportunity for me to be able to do things like this in Michigan and raise these cattle and be able to try to develop more youth in agriculture here in Michigan.
What does it mean to you to work in agriculture, in farming?
Oh, it's my life. I tried the factory deal for about 12 and a half years as a tool and die maker, and it drove me nuts every day to drive to a shop and punch a time clock, and I had to get away from it. That's when we expanded the cow herd here, and that's all I've been doing since, is just working. I enjoy working the cows more than anything. I'm not necessarily what I would call a crop farmer. I really enjoy the livestock end of it and taking care of the animals.
All right. Well, we appreciate you inviting us out to your farm today, and I know that you have a lot of projects that you'll need to be doing. So thank you for taking the time, and for you all that joined us today. We appreciate your time, and if you have any questions at all, please include them right here on this video, or visit michigangrown.org for more information. We are going to do a second interview in just a little bit, and we'll hope you join us then as well. So stay tuned right here from Brian Plank's farm, where he is selling cattle for youth today to learn about responsibility in agriculture. Thanks for joining us.
Remember, beef is what's for dinner.
Hi again, everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's Harvest Hangout, which is a little different format because we are actually in a barn where there's cows. And today they are for sale for young people who are interested in getting involved in the cattle industry. And so they learn about business skills, they learn about animal care, they learn about our environment and how to protect that here in Michigan. And so now we will talk with the auctioneer, who is working with young people to sell these animals so that those animals can go home to be their projects for the next couple of months. So everyone meet Bill Sheridan. Hi, Bill.
Hi there, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
How did you get your start as an auctioneer?
Well, I was a field representative at a livestock auction market, and we had an auctioneer that developed a growth on his throat, and I decided rather than hire an auctioneer, I'd go to school and develop the auctioneer's chant in order to sell cattle.
The auctioneer's chant. How long did it take you to learn that?
That took, the auction school I went to took 2 weeks. And you graduate with a gavel and you're considered an auctioneer, but it takes a couple of years to really develop and hone the kind of chant that will make you a world champion auctioneer.
Wow. And is the gavel in front of you today, is that your original gavel?
That is my original gavel. That's the gavel that I have tongued a lot of times, selling a lot of cattle and a lot of horses. and a lot of farm machinery.
Wow. What keeps you motivated to do this business?
Sale day. Sale day is the most exciting day in my life because I'm able to help people sell their life's work or their year's work. Yeah.
So you work with a lot of farmers.
I do.
And you talk with them. What makes the farming community so unique in Michigan?
I think the farming community in Michigan is unique to me because of the people that are a part of it and the people that are very cognizant of trying to raise healthy cattle and healthy livestock, and also they're doing it and they're very aware that they need to be good stewards of the soil. And that type of attitude is very prevalent here in the state of Michigan, and it's the reason I enjoy working with these producers.
Excellent. And you mentioned that working with people who are here for the market day. Tell us from your point of view here on the auction block, what is that like?
Well, it's a very, I've always considered my role on the auction block to be a role of responsibility. The farmer that we're selling calves for today has worked a full year to bring this product to the auction stand, and it's my responsibility to do the very best job I know how to do to market his calves as high as we possibly can. Their future could very well rest in my hands, and I take that very, very seriously.
What do you hope that youth today learn? You know, they're buying their project animal today. What do you hope they learn in the next couple of months about that animal and about the environment and that sort of thing?
I think that boys and girls that are getting involved in the 4-H youth projects, and in particular the cattle projects, the club calves, really teaches responsibility, and it allows these kids to take charge of their own destiny, and it gives them the ability to see how the business works. They have to spend money to purchase these calves, and then they have to spend money to go buy the feed for these calves. And then it's incumbent upon them to provide feed and work for these animals all the way up to the day they sell them at their county fair in July or August. And it teaches good sportsmanship. These kids are very competitive. They all want to win a championship, but not all of them will. Only one champion is selected. And so these boys and girls have to learn how to be able to walk out of the ring and stand third and say, you know what, next year I'm going to have a champion. And they go to work and they try and do a better job of purchasing and a better job of feeding and a better job of grooming their cattle.
Working with farmers all across the state, how does today's sale vary from what a full-time farmer would do on their farm?
Well, I'd say today's sale it's very, very unique because it's cattle, and in particular the kind of cattle we're selling today are bred for club calf projects. And so we're dealing with a very, very unique niche market here on this farm here today. These folks have got over 100 head of brood cows that they take care of every year and get these cows bred to some of the most popular herd sires in America, and through artificial insemination they're able to raise calves sired by national champion bulls or high indexing bulls in the breed, and then they can produce a calf that will be good and competitive for these boys and girls. So this particular farm where we're at today is unique in the farming world because it's a cattle operation specifically tailored towards providing youth a product to purchase and to show and sell at their fair.
What is your favorite thing about this industry, about this business?
I'd say the thing that probably gives me the biggest rush is working with the people and walking away from that microphone this afternoon knowing I've done a good job for Brian Plank and that I've done everything I possibly can to make sure his calves sell as high as possible. That's probably the most rewarding part of this profession.
Is there anything else that you would want to add?
Well, I'll just share a little story with you that has happened to me more than once, and I've had the opportunity to travel around not only the state of Michigan but around the country, and it's amazing. Every so often, if I'm in a restaurant or in a public place, a person will come up to me and say, "Mr. Sheridan, do you remember me?" And I don't. And he said, "Well, you sold my calf at the Calhoun County Fair, and you got $5 a pound for that champion, and I used that money to go to college with, and now I'm a registered nurse, or I'm a lawyer or something." And it's probably the most rewarding part of what I do, is to see people that I've had the chance to work with and have affected them positively come back and say thanks.
Excellent. And with that, I think that's a really good ending to today's Harvest Hangout. I want to thank both Brian and Bill for their time before today's sale, and I want to thank you all for joining us. Working in the farming community is really a unique job, and there's nothing better that's more rewarding. And so if you have questions about that business, please let us know at michigangrown.org at any time, or leave your questions here and we'll get them answered directly from the farmers themselves. Thanks so much for joining us, and once again, I'm going to flip it around to say thank you, gentlemen, thank you, Brian, and thank you, Bill. We'll let you get to work.
Thank you.
Thank you.